So good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Tuesday the 6th of July. So the markets are sort of very much pushing towards a bit of a recovery from some of the commodity currencies here this morning, driven by the New Zealand dollar and the expectations of a lot of banks that interest rates will be increased in New Zealand coming November, December this year. So that has created some volatility overnight, seen the dollar being sold. In fact, the dollar is the weakest of the currencies today. Now, that's driven things at the moment. We'll see how things progress there, but let's just have a look at the calendar today. So let's have a look at the risk factors that are due out today. Now it's Tuesday the 6th, so of course we've had the Reserve Bank of Australia's statement out there as well. 7 o'clock this morning we've had low speaking. I haven't looked at that yet, see what's come from that, but later this morning we've got the ZEW economic sentiment coming out, but it's not generally a biggest mover, but we'll see. Might get a bit of volatility around 10, and then 3 p.m. this afternoon we've got the US ISM services PMI, so that again might just give us a little blip, but I'm not expecting too much from those. So a couple of risk factors out there that might get things rolling, but not much else. Let's have a look then at I'm going to look at the currencies today first, and then we'll switch around a little bit, have a look at the equity markets, a few of the equity markets, not all of them, but some of them. Starting off with the euro dollar this morning then, and it's no surprise really. Yesterday it was a dead old day in the markets. We sat there, I mean 29 pips for the whole day. We sat there in the morning with 15 pips movement. It was pretty dreadful old movement, but we've already seen a massive 37 pips today. It's flying along, but the volatility is certainly picking up. And in terms of price action, looking at what's happened here, we've got a higher low confirmed. In fact, there's sort of like two high lows. We had it confirmed yesterday morning actually, as it broke through this morning in the morning there at 8 o'clock, and then we've had this a second higher low confirmed as we've run through, and it running into the 4-hourly 50 as I speak at the moment. Now the pivots, the daily pivots are all a bit pinched, but we are already into an R2, finding a bit of resistance into that sort of level. Little else around, well I say little else around there is the 4-hourly 50, so a bit of confluence there. What for today then? It's a difficult one. To be long, I'd need to see a retrace anyway. I don't want to just be buying into this. It's not like it's just breaking out of a level or something. It's a case of waiting to see if it picks up and gives us a signal to the upside. So it's a bit of a patience game this morning. The downside, well, high lows, high highs, I don't really fancy it too much at the moment. Yesterday I was still sitting there looking quite bare on the euro, but maybe I'm marginally positive. I'm not massively positive. It's not a leading sort of light out there. It's down the list somewhat, but certainly it's more bullish than it was yesterday. Looking at the pound dollar then, the pound yesterday had this bullish engulfing. Again, it did very little really, 45 pips, a bit more than the euro. It's still got a bit more volatility, already kicking up to 54 pips. Looking at that monthly pivot as a potential target, it was pushing through. I was also, as you can tell by the Fibonacci extension that I've got here, I was measuring yesterday and sort of looking to where 1-to-1 and equal throws. So actually using it in its most simplistic form, but it's really just looking to see what sort of how much could we expect out of a higher low in this sort of price action. And we've seen a couple of higher lows come through here. So really looking towards that 39.35 area. Let's just go back. Where's the monthly pivot? 39.48. So it's even higher. So a 1-to-1 gives us around about that weekly pivot R1. Looking at the shorter time frames, well, coming down to 60-minute, and we've got an untouched daily pivot. It's a bit of almost divergence kicking across the highs here. Just got to be a bit careful. I mean, we could have reasonable corrections on these, and whether or not we trade them is another matter. Maybe we just let the correction happen and wait for the next signal to say this is on its return to the upside. Okay, yen's looking a little on the softer side. We're seeing a lot of these markets gain from it. It had a gain yesterday, just 39 pips movement. I'm wondering if it against the dollar, whether it will pick back down towards its monthly pivot there. It's heading that way. A bit slower, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows situation coming through there. Although it's got very soft divergence sitting through here. When I say soft, it hasn't really got oversold or anything first. It's still sitting there. Maybe there's a bit of double divergence on some. Let's have a look at the MACD. It's a bit smoother. Yeah, you see it's a bit more divergence across these from this low back here, saying that it's probably lost the divergence near term. But just seeing this sort of bullish engulfing candle, reversal candle, maybe a continuation to the upside would come from that. But bit more bouncy. Aussie dollar. Now this is one that's where we're waiting to, or should have seen the Reserve Bank of Australia's governor speaking. So obviously this has followed suit there. There's quite a few lockdowns happening and continue to happen in Australia. Maybe the boom that's going here, and I think it's driven partly by the New Zealand data. This might be more likely to roll back a little bit, but at the moment it's certainly in a good strong upward trend. Difficult, as I say, difficult running through these to think well, I'm going to get in yet at the moment, and it's just a case of plotting and planning. The Canadian dollar, it's yesterday managed a little up day in the end there, but rolled over through the Asian session and into this morning. Where to with this? Well, I'm erring still towards the downside. It's done here now what I was expecting it to do yesterday morning. A bit earlier, it's just come back. It got into that monthly pivot. It's broken its trend line across the lows here pretty decisively. In the end, it's broken that anyway. It's looking like there's certainly some more downside there, but it's timing a game with this. It's already gone so far. It might catch a decent bounce off that monthly pivot and daily S2 pivot, so I just need to be a bit wary just jumping aboard these markets. It's tempting, but some of these could reverse back a little bit. The commodity currencies are doing better at the moment, although the Canadian dollar is sitting a little bit more on the fence than the Aussie and the New Zealand dollar. Quick look at the New Zealand dollar. So this is what started it all. There was some of the banks, not central banks, but there's rumours of a early interest rate increase this year, first one of the lot probably, and that's what's driven it. I was sort of looking at it later last night, but it already fired up so far there, 11 o'clock there, fired up so much, but it has continued through, and may still have some more gas in the tank, but it's not going to be me chasing it again. Just need retracements and then review to see if those retracements are tradable or they're reversals. It's always a game of reversal or retracement. Right, okay, there's the currencies for now. Looking elsewhere then, let's have a look at equity markets. I'm going to switch charting software on this, and let's just go into the indices then. I'm going to just run ahead in alphabetical order what's happening. So the CSI 300, it's consolidating, is to say the least. It's really not going too far. Yesterday's price action today, well, we've got this doji here, really nothing massive. As I said yesterday, we could just see a break of this trend line and it could roll over. It doesn't look particularly strong at all. Other indices, I'm looking at the pound here thinking, well, that could push on upwards. It looks it's consolidated around that sort of 71.54 area where it's sitting at the moment. It's just open as I'm speaking now, the cash markets, and it just looks like it could get a kicker to the upside. Consolidation, it's a wedge, might not go massively, maybe up to, I'm just eyeballing the size of this little wedge here. It's not the cleanest of wedges, but just looking at the sort of movement, 68.29 through 68.29. There's a few pips there to be had actually, potentially. So I would be just measuring that candle there, that candle from the 10th of May, and just check it on the top here, and we could be up to about 73.91 just at an eyeballing. Okay, S&Ps. No surprise there then, running back into even more new highs. Look at that huge bullish engulfing candle. It did effectively, but actually it was that last, this is 21st, so got to be a bit careful. 28th, there we go. Right, DAX, just was looking at this one. I'm on a weekly picture here. Sorry about that. I'm on a weekly on some of these. Don't know how I got switched back into a weekly, but DAX pushing up there quite strongly at the moment. Well, it has been yesterday, pushing up there, still running in there, still has the risk of breaking this trend line on these markets. Nasdaq again, new highs pushing through. Sorry, I need to come through to back to S&Ps. It was new highs. That was into the second. That was last week. We're just sort of pushing through. Closed yesterday, so still pushing up high. Nasdaq, as I say, pushing to the upside. And the Dow Jones futures at the moment, 6th of July. It's today. Yep, just checking it is today. Just pitching up again, and looking at it, as I said yesterday, we could just see these run through. Okay, whilst I'm here, may as well do cryptos quickly. Then Bitcoin, still in that tight old range there, not really going anywhere. Sold off yesterday, stayed down there. Rallying this morning. Ethereum still my favorite out of these in terms of the potential for the upside there, and it's it's back to shoulder to shoulder here at this stage. If it can continue pushing up here, perhaps it's got some further targets. Looking back at these prior highs here at 26.49, then 28.84, but it will get dragged by Bitcoin somewhat. The overall influence there. Ripple not really going anywhere. We have got lawsuits still sitting on that one, so that's obviously slowing things down. Right, gold. Let's a quick look at gold. And where we go? Gold still pushing up. A weaker dollar. Commodities, really commodity heaven. With weaker dollar, and we're seeing the gold pushing up. Solid old move up today, pushing up towards its monthly pivot there. Just looking as we get run through here, just solid day after solid day it seems to be at the moment, and gold is catching its bounce. I really was wary of gold, and I'm still sort of it's off period normally, but if the dollar's going to be selling off some more, perhaps we've got some more movement in that. Finally, oil. Looking here, once again pushing through into new highs. Solid day yesterday. I didn't see the outcome of the OPEC so far this morning, or yes, from yesterday, but I assume by the price action here, it must have been half reasonable, because we're just seeing oil pushing up, consolidating as I speak at the moment. But that again looks prime at some stage, maybe this afternoon, for a breakout and a continuation. Okay, that's pretty much it for me. I'm just having a look elsewhere on my I think that's just about it. Let me just see on the that's it. That's all done for me. I'm going to call it a day there. I wish you a great day, and I'll catch you on in the morning. Bye for now. Phew.